Hi guys, this is the project for Gone Quackers, a film by Annie Buckeridge made at Aardman Animations on the Aardman Academy course, and it's a wonderful, quirky, dark comedy about a farmer who encounters three ducklings. And he takes the ducklings into his home, looks after them, and is met with a twisted end. It's a beautifully crafted and animated film. Annie is an amazingly talented filmmaker, and it's been a pleasure to write music to her film. So, without giving too many spoilers away, I just wanted to play you two parts of the film and talk a little bit about my approach to scoring it. So, let's start with the opening sequence. So, hopefully, it's clear that it's a dark comedy. I really wanted to establish the tone of the film in the opening bars. I've gone for a largely orchestral palette with some electronic elements. So, we've got some synths and pads down here at the bottom, just to add a bit more grit. Let's check those out first. So, here are the pads on their own. What you're hearing is actually two. So we've got the Spitfire, Tundra, Edna, Awesome Blade, and Sky Billows, which is just providing a tone and helping us to get our farmer through his front door. So that's what this sounds like. And it's also panning from left to right, which is probably quite hard for you guys to hear, but again, adding lots of motion. And then that's in combination with another pad by Venus Theory called Noctua, which is just a nice sort of low growling buzz, which is working away in the background. It just helps to create this kind of unsettled mood. And then on top of that, I've got a theme played in the low brass. Again, another Spitfire audio plugin.
They are rather fantastic.
This is Tundra Low Brass Fluttered. It's an interesting articulation. It's when the brass player is making a sort of an R shape with their tongue, almost like in Spanish when you say ar, and also using their throat whilst playing a note, and it creates a rapid and vibrating kind of effect. It's such a cool sound, isn't it? I think particularly with something like this, where you're thinking less about the melody and it's more of a kind of moody atmosphere thing, it's good to think about some other ways of articulating the notes. It just makes it more interesting than having a held note. It also adds to the character of your score. So it's just those three elements in the intro, just the two pads and the low brass motif. Oh yeah, I've used a cymbal as well on the pan down of the duck. And it's a bowed cymbal. It's literally when you just take a bow to the edge of a cymbal. It creates a nice kind of scraping kind of sound. Very, very common in horror films and things like that. We've got some scratchy tremolo string effects and some col legno in the violas as the three ducklings knock on the window. Now, at this point, the mood of the music changes. One thing chatting with Annie that we thought was really important was that the music changed from light and dark all the time to give this ambiguity as to you're unsure of the nature of the three ducklings, you're unsure as to whether they're good or evil. So the music is light-hearted here. Until ultimately he pulls out his shotgun out on them. Um, so here I've used a motif for the three ducklings. So we've got a theme on bassoon, and that's doubled with a celeste. It just creates a sort of light-hearted little theme. I was also thinking about what kind of sound does a duck make? What instrument would I associate with a duck? And I tend to go with instruments which sound quite nasal, like a bassoon or oboe. That just seems to work. Um, and then ultimately, as the mood changes, I've used a bass clarinet, which is great for a mood change. Dun dun dun. I mean, a classic. A great trick for changing the moods, the bass clarinet. And then I've used some scratchy tremolo effects in the strings, in the violas, as he decides not to shoot after all. And then we've got some held string harmony. And just ending up with a final cadence just to bring a musical full stop to the scene. And there you have it. That's my music for the opening of Gone Quackers.